All right, Carver High, we dive into the NFL Wildcard weekend now, and I see that you have the one and only Art Smith on the show today.
Well, yeah, it was you sent me this this morning or last night, whenever it was, and I thought it was funny just because your boy Pony in Pittsburgh, who's always, obviously always gassing up the Steelers stuff, and it's been talked about. Who does they want to start? I mean, Russ has been bad during this entire stretch. Justin Fields, you want to go back to him. Tomlin has said, we're going to have some kind of a package like we always do. He's been hurt the last few weeks. Arthur Smith was kind of asked about that as well. And he said, Scotty, all hands on deck for the Steelers against the Ravens on Saturday night.
No stone left unturned. It's what the playoffs is. I mean, whatever, you get through the drama, the ups and downs of the season, and however you shake it, you're in a single elimination tournament. I use that analogy. Let's burn the boats because you got to win to stay in and win, survive and advance. And so we'll use everything at our disposal, assuming it's the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah, I just don't believe that for 1 minute, okay? I have sat and watched this team like no other. I'm a season ticket holder. I go to the games. I watch their games. I watch every game they play. I watch every snap of every game they play. And they never do anything unique. They never do anything different. They never do anything special for Justin Fields in that offense. I've seen him come on the field for what? I guarantee you he hasn't played 5 plays since they benched him. Five plays. He came in and did what? Ran 1 yard? That's your idea of using Justin Fields? It's laughable. This guy, do you understand? I even sent you stats today. I sent them to you. This guy is worse than Matt Canada, and I didn't even think that was possible. I thought that guy was the worst coordinator I've ever seen in any sport ever. And then this guy tops him. He's literally got worse stats than Matt Canada.
He really does. He's done that bad of a job. And you're right about Fields. At this point, even if you were to bring him in for, some kind of a package, the other team knows why he's in there. He's in there to run. He ain't going to throw the ball. There's no shot he's going to throw the ball. You know what? I know he ran a lot when he was the starter, but at least there was you didn't know each play. When he just comes trotting out there for one play, you know what it is. It's going to be some kind of sweep to the right or up the middle. You're not throwing a ball.
Listen, have we not heard that there's teams interested, the Jets, etc., in interviewing Art Smith for their head coaching vacancy? Can you imagine being so stupid as an executive or a front office role type person that makes decisions? We're gonna interview this guy for our job, our head job, because of the job he's doing in Pittsburgh. What would behoove you to interview someone, to hire someone for a job because they're talented or they've got some kind of juice or they've got a name all of a sudden and people are talking about you all of a sudden? Who in their right mind would interview Art Smith after the abortion of a job he did in Atlanta and the abortion that he's done in Pittsburgh? I mean, can you imagine someone being stupid enough to bring him in for an interview to be the head coach? I mean, honestly, I'm as serious as the day is blue. What in the God? I mean, I'm going to start swearing. Who would do that? Who would bring this guy? He's done nothing, but their offense is so anemic. He calls the plays. He's in charge of the most anemic offense in the NFL. And you're going to bring him in to be the head coach of your new football team? You must be stupid.
It really doesn't make a lot of sense. But, of course, the Jets are going to interview him.
Immediately, when they lose this game on Saturday night, I would make him take the train back to Pittsburgh. Take the Amtrak back. Here you go. You can drink the whole way home. You're fired.
Drink
Honestly,
the whole way home.
He is so awful.
So
honestly, I'm not joking.
Well, the Bears and the Jets are the ones who are requested to interview with him. Let's remember, they're also interviewing.
It'll never happen.
Everyone who's ever, stepped foot in a facility. So that's a part of what you have to remember as well when it comes to those guys. George Pickens, eligible for an extension, has 1 year left on his rookie deal. I saw some numbers that you sent me that like 4 years, $100-something million is what he's going to get. I don't know about all that.
He said today that he's going to be finished with the Steelers after this game on Saturday, and that'll be the last you ever see of him in Pittsburgh. I also don't believe that for 1 minute.
I don't believe that either, because he has a year left on his deal. So it's not like he's a free agent and he's leaving. I did see all the media
that throw the noodle against the fridge to see if it'll stick. Like, I'll say anything today to get attention, and I'm not that guy. I'm really not. I know I'm painful, but I'm not that guy. You've never known me to be that guy. Here, let's see if I can say something crazy on the air today to get everybody's attention. I'm already crazy enough as it is. I'm already painful enough as it is. I don't need to do phony ass stuff. I never have my entire career. I've never. Hey, let me see if I said that we used to have that problem with our boy back at CBS. He'd done anything to get attention. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna drag him through. He would have said
there's
anything
a lot
to
of
start
people.
A fire.
A lot of people like that.
Oh, please. 8 out of every 10 guys on sports radio?
Just about. And I did see all the regular beat reporters for the Steelers today were, I'm not saying upset, but made sure to make it a point that Pickens, again, didn't talk to anybody this week. He usually does his media at the end of the week.
So what?
Not talking to the media. They're all so fired up that he does, like, he didn't talk to us after the Bengal game, and he didn't talk to us this week. Why the hell do you want to talk to him? He doesn't say anything. He stands there, gives you one-word answer, and then turns around and walks away. So you just want him to come out so you could do that spectacle every week? You could have George come out. He looks at you. He goes, no.
What have I told you I want him to do? What have I said to you about what I want from him?
Catch the football. How about that? Catch the football. What does it matter? What is he giving you in those media scrums at the end of practice on Thursdays and Fridays? Nothing. You're getting
what I need is a touchdown or two on Saturday night in Baltimore. That's what I need.
But they want to gas everyone up by watching them not answer the question, say all right, and turn around and walk away. You know, everybody loves those clips. Everybody watches them turn around. For all these guys, he's not giving you anything of substantial. Who cares if he didn't talk to the media? The last 4, you gave me all the good numbers. The last 4 Steeler playoff losses, they've gotten off to some very slow starts. They've been outscored 56-0 in the first quarter combined in those 4 games. And eventually they would trail 21-0, 28-0, 35-7, 21-0 in all 4 of those games. Maybe they need to, how about even a field goal, just scoring first on Saturday night? Even that would be, just have a lead. Get yourself out on the right foot.
This is the last 4 playoff games. 21-0, 28-0, 35-7, 21-0. And that was just the early score. This is after the first quarter. Are you kidding me? And people continue to say that they shouldn't get rid of Mike Tomlin, who is coaching these teams. I love Mike Tomlin. I've liked him for a long time. We've had him on his show 5 million times. We do the words of wisdom. But the reality is he's been an utter failure, disaster since that Super Bowl. Since he won a ring, he's never won a game. He's just awful. He's an awful playoff coach. And he's a regular season, September through November coach. In December, he's Houdini. He disappears before your very eyes. He's David Copperfield in December. Honest to Christ. In January, it's even worse. It's a bloodletting. In January, he's a missing child.
Just 3 games left in this historic college football season. Thursday, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is definitely one of the top teams in the nation.
Clash with Penn State. Friday, Ohio State looks to slow down the Horns. with the Buckeyes favored to top Texas.
You know what I see? Two similar plays. Jackpot. Cherry. I'm nimble for a big man.
Follow along for every play and every bet with in-game live game day only on SportsGrid.
Statement from Giants president John Mara. Joe Shane and Brian Daboll will continue in their respective roles with the organization. As disappointing as the results of the season have been, Steve Tisch and I remain confident in the process that Joe and Brian have implemented.
The Giants, an absolute train wreck, and I love it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
This was a team that you should have dominated. You've now lost 4 straight. You're heading into the playoffs and you're searching for answers, not just in terms of your offensive line, but your quarterback now.
I just don't see this team peaking at the right time. It was almost like we were anointing Mike Tomlin as the best coach in the NFL 12 or 13 weeks in. Then once they got to the real competition and the attrition started to settle in, it's just not a good football team.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Louis Riddick has interviewed for every job in North America. And I'm not just talking football. I'm talking about every business in North America of any kind whatsoever. Tire companies, grocery store CEOs, shopping malls, insurance companies. What job hasn't Louis Riddick interviewed for?
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, this is getting better by the minute with some of the skinny that we have for this Steeler-Raven game. Listen to this next bit. Carver High, what is it?
Yes, Brian Kemp will be the referee for the Steelers and the Ravens on Saturday night. The home team has won 81.25% of the games he officiated this year in 2024. The league average is usually just over 50%, 53.31. But Kemp for the home team, 81.
What in the F is that? The average of the league is 53.3% of the refs give the calls to the home team. The
home team wins. Home team wins the game.
Well,
yes,
the home team
not
wins
necessarily
81% of the time this guy's anywhere near a game.
Right. So the home team, I don't know, those numbers I don't think bake in necessarily how many flags he's thrown against either side, but that is just strictly who wins the game when this guy's the ref, and the home team wins the game 81% of the time when it's Brian Kemp.
Well, that's all I need to know, that they get all the calls.
That's it. You can decipher that from those statistics. You can decipher that when it comes to it. The Ravens will not have Zay Flowers on Saturday night. He is out. So he got hurt, of course, last week.
5 left. I got to go back.
Sure.
I'm at this game the other night, right? This Saturday game, the Bengals and the Steelers. And I mean to tell you, so it's minus 10 with a wind chill, the whole deal. These NFL refs, I mean, I swear to God. Now, if you watch the game, I don't know if you did, but in the first half, in the second quarter, it literally took them an hour and 15 minutes to get through the second quarter because every single play, every single effing play, this guy had to blow the whistle, stop the game, and have a meeting with his refs and then have reviews on the sideline. It was every single play in the second quarter. And people were booing, not because so much of the calls were bad. It was that they couldn't get their act together. They didn't know whether they were coming or going. They didn't know what the calls were. Why did we throw a flag? What are we going to do here? Who's it against? Maybe we should review it. Let's go take a look if he was short on the spot. Well, let's look at the spot. It was the worst officiating crew I have ever seen in my life. And I think what happened was, in my view, the reason people were so mad was because they were freezing their ass off. It was, negative wind chill. And I think the refs were frozen numb and dumb. They were numb and dumb and dumber. Every single call took 10 minutes. And there was, literally the game started at 8. At halftime, it was like 11 o'clock. And I was like, what is happening here? I'm freezing my ass off. And people were booing and cussing. You should have heard the language I heard directed at this head ref. This guy got abused like no other. I have never seen the abuse of a ref at an NFL game like I saw Saturday night in Pittsburgh against the Bengals. I don't even care who he was. He was awful. I don't even care his name.
So Bob sent me a couple stats on this guy, Kemp. He co-ranks number 1 in multiple categories: offensive holding, defensive holding, and face mask. Kemp ranks number 3 in calling roughing the passer. 63% of Kemp's false start offensive holding penalties are assessed on road teams, the largest discrepancy of any crew in 2024. So there you go. Kemp,
the game's over already.
Get ready for flags. And yes, I was watching last Saturday night. The refs had a very hard time in that Steeler-Bengal game. They had a very hard time in that game. No question about that. It is still 9.5. It is still 43.5. Of course, tomorrow we'll dive into it even more with Mike Tomlin's words of wisdom going into a wild card weekend. We'll have that tomorrow.
I got to be honest. I pray to God that you're right about the 10 that we bet. And I bet the 10, but I swear to God, I'm just going to be honest. I think the Ravens are going to beat them by at least 14, 17 points. Easy.
The
Steelers' offense is so anemic. They will go 3 and out at least 7 to 10 times. Watch.
I just believe that the Steelers' defense is going to keep them in the game. And I think
defense?
The Steelers will get
what defense?
They played well against Cincinnati.
You mean their
last
Thanksgiving
week.
defense, the one that ended at
I know they lost.
Defense?
I know that they played well against Cincinnati last Saturday night. I know that they didn't win the game, but they did not lose the game because of their D. They held the Bengals to under 20 points. It's something the Bengals hadn't done in 2 months. I thought Hayward played great. Watt played great. I think that those guys are going to play well on Saturday
Hayward
night.
Getting talked to by Wilson after the game? Let's go get the next 4, baby. And Hayward's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Get out of my way.
Yeah, I know. Russ is always Mr. Cheerleader out there. You never know. Russ always and remember, Russ always does that stuff. He knows the camera's there. Russ always knows the camera's there when he does all that stuff. Come on, baby, let's go. Let's ride. Let's go.
Come on, baby. Let's get the next 4, baby. Come on,
there you go.
The
other game on Saturday is Chargers and Texans, and we will do more on that tomorrow as well. Still 2.5 and 42.5. Nothing has changed for that game either. The first game on Wildcard Saturday down in H-Town for you. So nothing of much significance to report you with that. All right, we'll come back, and I will start to give you some stuff from Sunday's games. I've got Sean McDermott and Sean Payton for you today. Got a little Sirianni later, Baker Mayfield.
How you and everyone else, not you specifically, but literally no one is talking about the L.A. Houston game.
Yeah.
You just blew past that like you were, hitting off the tee because
I felt like we have done that more than the other games because we had some sound on it yesterday, and tomorrow we're going to have more sound on it.
Nobody's talking about that game. No one at all.
Yeah,
like the playoffs start Saturday night at 8, not at 4:30.
Another year for Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills, and once again, the quest is to finally get to a Super Bowl. Here is McDermott as they start another playoff run. Hey, we can't think about the past. We can only think about now.
Every year is different. I know why you're saying that. So every year is different, and every team takes on its own identity. So I would say yes and no. I'd say yes because of it is in our history of not getting to accomplish our ultimate goal year to year. But at the end of the day, we've had a lot of success, and it's a hard thing to win in this league. And you're looking at an AFC that is loaded with high-level teams, and it starts right from the start with week 1 for us of a really good football team, the Denver Broncos here.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll agree with him. Like, I know it's not the same thing, but to me, it's a lot like, you're in the NCAA tournament and you're trying to make it to the Final Four. It's really hard. I'm in this basketball that I play in these violent leagues that are all over the country. They're everywhere. All these ex-NBA players are in it. There's tremendous talent in that league. And I play in it and here in New York. And, Mafia played with me. He won 4 championships. He knows how hard it is. He went to 4 others and lost. I've gone to 10 and lost. I went to 10 title games and lost. I went to 10. I went to 4 of them undefeated and lost. And it's always the same thing when it's over. You talk about how hard it is to actually get it done. Like, I've won 12 championships, but it was hard as hell to get it done. It's hard to win the first game, the quarter, the semi, and the final. It's brutal. And I know how he feels. It's written all over his face. He's like, it is so hard to win in this league. They get there every year. They're right on the doorstep, and they don't get it done. And then people crucify him and crucify them. But the people that are doing the crucifixions don't understand how hard it is to actually get it done. There's only one left standing in sports. Shut up.
There's only one winner every year. Only one team can win.
That's it.
The Bills, of course, they need to finally get over that hurdle and get themselves to a Super Bowl. Here's Sean Payton on the other side. Bo Nix, rookie quarterback, making his first playoff start. Payton not concerned about that. Kid's played plenty of big games in his life.
A rookie quarterback starting his first NFL game, is it
his first playoff game?
A big step, and then what makes you think you're
I think, listen, he's played in bigger games. I mean, he's played in a lot of big games. And honestly, last week, for him, for many guys, it was like a playoff game. So he's seasoned and he's been in big moments, and you know what? He's going to play in bigger games.
Listen, I'll give him this. I thought that hoodie he was wearing was terrific.
Yeah, if we could get that in like another team, that would be fine with me. Yeah. But yeah, the hoodie, they usually outfit those to every team. Like every team gets the same gear, just their logo slapped on it there. So we might have to find one of those.
The Bills and Steelers ones of those.
The Bills and Steelers ones, it'll be okay. Still 8.5 and 47.5 for the Bills and the Broncos on Sunday afternoon. First game of 3 on the middle day.
I think Buffalo wins this game. It boils down to the number. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Denver's for real. I think they're legit. I think they're going to show up. I think they're going to lose. But I could see them covering the number. I think they're going to be in the game. I really do. I do not think that – I also could see Buffalo blowing them out. To me, Buffalo's not losing. Buffalo, in one way, shape, or form, to me, is going to the AFC Championship game.
Let's do a little Packers-Eagles now here. Of course, last year the Packers and Jordan Love in his first playoff appearance got a win in Dallas, had a lead in San Francisco before they blew that game in the second half. Do those experiences help Jordan Love as he goes on the road again to see the Eagles on Sunday? He says, not really.
Yeah, I think I think it definitely gives you confidence. Especially last year, it gave me a lot of confidence. I think just the way we played and executed as an offense, gave us a lot of confidence in that time. But like we said, it's some new faces, a new team, and we got to go out there and do it again. We can't live on what we might have did last year against the Cowboys, things like that. So we got to go out there and handle business and execute. But that's kind of, I feel like, what this offense can be at when we are kind of at our best. So there's definitely that's the limit or the level we need to get to.
The problem is the defense they're going up against. It's that simple. Like, I think Philly's defense is really tough. I saw it in the, frankly, every game they played, but, firsthand against the Steelers, they just shut them down. I mean, I know that the Steelers were in that game until Najee fumbled the ball at the 20-yard line of the Eagles, and that was the end of the game. But I think their defense is a real problem for Love.
I think so, too. And especially with really how inconsistent the Packer pass game has been for a while now. And I think that that's also because, the Eagles are going to come in and they're going to key on Jacobs. They're going to slow down the run. They're going to make Love and those inconsistent receivers try to beat them down the field. Other side of the coin, here is Sirianni. By the way, Hurts has been practicing. He's going to be good to go. Here is Sirianni. Now, we heard Sean Payton talk about Nick's making his first start. Said, he's played in big games before, whatever. I actually thought what Sirianni said about guys playing in their first playoff game took that even a step further. Here's Nick Sirianni.
I mean, these guys are at the pinnacle of their sport, right? So some of them have played in state championship games. Some of them have played in national championship games. Some of them played in rival games that are, bigger rivals than anybody has ever played in, right? Iowa State's a big rival for Coop, right? And so that doesn't mean, one's bigger than the other. Like you go to a high school football game, you go to Southwestern versus Falconer, and you tell that, and that's my team, Southwestern's my team, Falconer was our rival. You go to that school and say this game's not as important as a playoff game, and those kids are going to. That game's important to me. All right, there's nothing bigger to me than this game right now, and so these guys have been playing in these their entire lives. I want them to stick on their process. I want to stick with what got us here and not think about anything else other than, hey, again, I don't think it's a winner's mindset to be like, here's what I'm doing different now, or here how this game's going to be different. Screw that. It's about what we do all week. It's about us.
I mean, the fact of the matter is they're a really good team, and they have Barkley, and they have a great defense. And if Hurts is okay, he does have options. I mean, Brown and Smith aren't garbage, okay? So if he's able to throw the ball to either one of them, they're going to do their thing. I think the Eagles are dangerous. I don't care where they played high school football.
Hurts was at practice again today, as I mentioned. So he's going to be good to go. It looks like 2 days in a row he's practiced for Sunday. 4.5 and 45.5 are the numbers for the Eagles and the Packers. So that really hasn't moved much throughout the week. We'll do it again one more time tomorrow. The night game will be Tampa and the Commanders in Tampa at the Pirate Ship at Raymond James. Here is Baker Mayfield. Of course, the Bucs scored a lot of points. Baker's had a huge year. Will it be a shootout? Will it be a low-scoring game? Baker doesn't care. He could do either of those as long as the Bucs win.
Obviously, if you come on the right side of it, yeah. It's mentality for us. Find any way to win, whether the game's a shootout, whether it's low-scoring. Make the plays that matter when it counts. So it's going to be a full game. Got to be locked in. That's just playoff mode. All the little things really matter. The margin for error is just so much smaller at this point in the season, and everything counts.
Look, I think for this guy, it's real simple. They gave him all the money. After last year, they made the playoffs, and they went to Detroit, and they had a chance to win the game, but he threw a pick, and the game ended. They had the Lions by the onions. He was playing great. They were playing great, and they lost. Then they gave him all the money. Now, the expectations are that he's going to go into this playoff game and win because they gave him all this money. That's it. I mean, that's the whole deal, right? Like, now that you're highly paid and you're making that fat bag, you got to win this game. I think this is the one team really that stands out to me that is vulnerable to lose this weekend at home. I think that Daniels is dangerous enough to go in there and steal that game. And the reality of it is Philly's better than Green Bay. The reality of it is Buffalo's better than Denver. The reality of it is Baltimore's better than Pittsburgh. The reality is the Chargers are better than the Texans. The reality is that there's one team that could go win that game on this guy's money and everyone's expectations. Dude, they were losing 16-6 with him on the field to I think the worst team in the league last week. Now, they won the game. Of course they won the game. But they are vulnerable. You said it the other day. Their defense worries you. Well, if you got no defense, then you're not stopping this Jaden Daniels kid. I'm telling you, he goes in there and steals that game Sunday night. Watch.
Of course, Monday night, the Vikings and the Rams will get together. We know the situation that's going on in the L.A. area with the wildfires, etc. If they cannot play that game in L.A. on Monday night, and the NFL is monitoring the situation, they will move both teams to Glendale, Arizona, to, of course, where the Cardinals play. So that is where the game will be, Scotty, if they cannot be there on Monday night. Still have a few days before they'll probably decide that.
I mean, and I think that would – I'm not sure because, look, a lot of people feel like the Rams don't have a home fan base. And, the Chargers and Rams don't have fans. That's ridiculous. They have fans. But I think that taking it away from them, from L.A. to the Toaster in Glendale, opens the door for the Vikings. I mean, this is just like a neutral site game. I don't have to deal with fans at all. Don't tell me that all those fans from Los Angeles are driving to the desert to Glendale, Arizona to watch the Rams. They barely go to Inglewood. I mean, you can barely get them to go to their home games. I think that game would be a disaster for the Rams.
That it would not be ideal, that's for sure. And yes, you could say whatever you want. It makes a difference that they wouldn't be playing a game in front of their home crowd. And now look, we saw last night the hockey game was postponed. Tonight, the Laker game with the Hornets has been postponed. I know it's still Thursday, but see, the problem is that you can't make this decision on Monday morning. If they're moving this game, logistically, they really got to figure this out by, I would say, 48 hours before. Saturday, and I think Saturday morning, to be quite honest with you, because
they got to go Sunday.
Think about, right. And, I mean, the Vikings would have to change all their current travel plans. The Rams would suddenly have to make travel arrangements. This is not something that you could just change. So I think they're going to move the game. That's my, I'm just taking a stab here. You look at what's going on out there. It's an awful situation. I just saw a picture of the Chargers at practice. Guys are wearing masks out on the practice field because of all the smoke and the bad air that's out there. I just don't see how they're going to play. And remember, that's SoFi. That's open on the sides. Air's going to get in there. Get all that bad smoke and air. You're going to get inside that SoFi.
You're right. I think you're right.
I
think they're moving it. I think they are too. Listen, it's a disaster. It's literally apocalyptic what's happened in Los Angeles. It's absolutely horrific. It's like it's so bad. It's like it's not even real. It's just the worst thing that you've ever seen. I got to be honest with you. Like, the only devastation I've seen like this is 9/11. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but what happened in Lower Manhattan that day, the smoke and the devastation and Ground Zero and what it did to New York City and Lower Manhattan, what has happened in Los Angeles, entire communities are gone. Entire communities. There's multiple communities that have been just burned to the ground. There's nothing left. You could talk about Lahaina and Hawaii in Maui. This is 10 times worse than that. 100 times worse. I mean, how many people have been killed? How many people? It's well over 100,000 now been displaced and evacuated, and homes destroyed, burned to the ground, everything. They've lost everything. And we're worried about a football game? Honestly, move the game already. Honestly, it's embarrassing. Like, what are they going to try to play a game in a smoke patch? I mean, honest to Christ.
Much more important
made the decision that they're not having the game there.
Yeah, much more important things going on, obviously, when you look at that situation that's happening there. All right, we'll come back. I'll quickly give you the Super Bowl numbers, and then we'll start to move on to the NBA. I'll tell you as well, we talked about Raiders. They chopped Tom Telesco, finished. And the 49ers are expected to offer Robert Saleh his job back as defensive coordinator if the other head coaching opportunities fall through. You could start drawing up the papers because I got a feeling the other head coaching opportunities will fall through. So you can start putting the offer together. I don't see him getting another job right away.
People already got a fill of him as a head coach. He's perfect as a defensive coordinator and nothing more.
So as you look with 14 teams left, there are 5 that stand above the rest. Lions, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, and Eagles are all in the 7-1 range or less. and then the Vikings are 14, and everyone else well beyond that down the board on the Super Bowl odd list. There's the rest of them, the big numbers down there. Steelers and Broncos at the bottom. Is it those top 5? Is it going to be one of those 5 teams that have the highest odds, or is somebody from that other list going to break through?
Well, I guess, I'm hopeful that there's a chance for an upset. Would be remote, but I think it would be fantastic to see Orange Sherbert and the Chargers and that defense go to Arrowhead and knock off the Chiefs and force them out. I'd say it's highly unlikely because they never lose. So right now, to me, it still looks like Eagles, Lions, and Bills and Chiefs. To me, those are your title games. They have tremendous advantage. These high seeds playing all these games at home in places that they don't lose. Kansas City doesn't lose at Arrowhead in front of that raucous 85,000. Buffalo doesn't lose in the Below. And frankly, the Lions are the best team in the NFL in terms of offense. They're the most exciting, explosive team in the NFL. So I would think they got a dramatic advantage at home on that fast track at Ford Field. And then Philadelphia's got Barkley and a great defense, and that's where they're going to go. So good luck beating those teams.